Right.
So we've been looking at statistics and graphing and Olympics. Coming over to the board with us, we're going to take a look at last winter's Olympics. Coming over to the board with me. So in 2014, the Winter Games were held in Sochi, Russia. And it took place from February the 3rd to the 23rd, February the 7th to the 23rd. That was the 22nd occurrence of the Winter Olympics. So they go way back. And you could figure that out, 22 times 4, subtract from 218. You can figure out when that started. But last Olympics, there were a record 2,873 athletes. That first one, I think there was like 300. So they've come a long way. And they're from 88 nations. There were 98 titles spread across 15 disciplines. So there was a lot of gold and silver and bronze medals handed out. 26 member countries got those medals. So out of, if you think about it, 98 times 4, all of those medals end up going to 26 countries. Here they are. The United States finished at the top of the overall medal count with 28 medals. Norway won the most gold medals at 11. The question I have for you is, what type of graph would you use to display this data? Now, there are a lot. It's a lot of data there. I don't know, would you use a line graph, a double line graph, or a 26-line graph, a bar graph? What would you do? How would you do it? You could ask your teacher how they would suggest doing it. Let me show you what I did. First of all, I didn't think I could really graph and show adequately all 26 countries that won medals. So I said, let me just look at the top 10. Who won the most? What countries won the most medals? Those 10 countries that won the most. And Russia's highlighted because it was held in Russia. Norway, and you can see them all there. Gold, silver, bronze, and total medals. My question is, how could I capture all of that? What I decided I would do is I would do a stacked bar graph. You know, normally your bar graphs, you have your bars next to each other. Well, I thought about a good way to represent this would be bars stacked on top of each other, with one representing gold, one representing silver, and one representing bronze, and you could really look at it and see who had the most. So let's take a look at how you would do that. So I thought I would look at Norway, who had the most golds. They had 11 golds, they had 5 silvers, and 10 bronze. So what I want to do is, when you do any kind of bar graph, you need to have your axes very well labeled. So I have Norway, Canada, those were and so on. Those are the top 10 countries in medals. And I go from 0 to 30. So what I want to do is I need to create some bars. So the first one is 11 golds. So I'm going to say that's 10, maybe that's 11. And I'm going to say that that's my goals. How many golds that they won, gold medals they won. I see they won 5 silver, so that would be about 11 right there, maybe. 5 and 11 gives me 16. That's about 16 medals. And then for gold, that would be another 10. That would take me all the way up to 26. So notice how these bars are stacked. And literally what I would want to do is, I would also want to fill those things. And I think I would make this gold. And maybe something like this for silver. And the final one, maybe something like this for bronze. Now I can easily look at that and say, suppose I did them all. That would take too long, but I did it for us, so let's take a look. They don't look bronze and gold and silver, but those are the ones. Notice, these are my gold medal counts for all of my countries. These are my silver medal counts, and these are my bronze medal counts for all of those countries. I could ask a number of questions. I could say, which country didn't win any silver medals? And you could clearly see that it's Belarus. I could say, which country had the most total medals? And you can easily see that that's the United States, and they had 28. Notice how these are all stacked up. I can look and say, who won the most bronze medals? Clearly, it looks like United States. Which ones had the same amount of golds? So a double stacked or a stacked bar graph really works well if you have several different categories that you want to show. Another thing you want to remember with any kind of graph, you got to have a title. You got to have a grid so you know what they represent. And again, you got to make sure your scales are correct. So a double stacked, or I keep saying double, a stacked bar graph is a great way to show data when you have multiple categories. So look forward, see if you can do the same thing. Keep track of those medals in the Winter Olympics in a couple of weeks.